live. And we're live. Good evening, guys. It's the Devil Drives Lada podcast. The podcast. The podcast. Today we have an episode for you guys. We're talking about the first week. Jamey, spent in Ukraine. We have a guest speaker with us, Elon, and we'll introduce him in here in a moment. But this is our third episode, technically. Once again, the first episode had some technical difficulties, so we'll release it as a meme one day. So last week we talked about my decision leading up to going. Me traveling to Ukraine, meeting two people along the way, and our first 24 hours in country. It was an exciting episode with like emotional and psychological effects of planning and getting ready to go to war, especially in the unknown. And we talked about how we were held in the Ukrainian black site, and that was quite exciting. Got woken up with a gun in my face. This week, thanks to this guy. And he's actually going to tell. So last week you got my side of the story. Later on, he's going to talk about his side of that story, catch you guys up, and show you some pictures from last week. After that, we'll go into some current events and a couple memes from this week. I know it's been a little bit crazy in the world this week, so got a couple things to talk about. And without further ado, I'll quickly reintroduce myself. Once again, I'm Jamey. I spent 8.5 months in Ukraine. Traveled all over the country. Fought with trained soldiers. Fought, you name it. I own Ohana Arms. We sell merch, training, all that good stuff. And yeah, that about sums up for me. Who wants to go next? Actually, Elon, yeah, you're up next.
What am I doing? Introducing myself?
Yeah, just a quick introduction. What did you do before you left or like before I met you in Ukraine? What did you do during? And I don't know, what do you do now? Just whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, yeah. So I met you in Poland, actually.
Well, we talked on Discord prior.
Yeah. So we talked on Discord. So I met you online, briefly talked to you, and then flew to Poland. We met up. I don't know if I met you the first day you were there, or the second day. I know we had some trouble with that.
Yeah, indeed. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah, and then I wasn't too sure about you. You weren't too sure about me, and then. Yeah, that was my. And then we also had kind of different plans. So I was looking to join the Legion, and some other things to do there. And you were also not looking into that. And then I went to I think this was the last day before we had left. Second to last day. I went to the Polish Ukrainian embassy. I think it was in Warsaw. And then it got raided by one of their, I guess, federal SWAT teams. So they wouldn't let me into the embassy because there were accusations at the time of people who had joined the Legion having their passports taken from them and destroyed. So I wasn't able to get any information from them about joining the Legion. So then that's where I was just like, okay, I'm gonna stick with you for now. And then when we went into the country, so a lot of people who went into the country their first month or second month also, there was the Legion tent that was there, and then we went past it pretty much, didn't join the Legion because you had your own plans at the time.
Yeah, well, we told that border guard, I told last week the story behind the border guard being like, "Oh, you're here for the Legion," and we're like, "No," and we're like,
big confusion.
And she was like, "Oh, military," and we're like, "No." She's like, but she was like military gear, and she was like, "Oh, so Legion?" We're like, "No." So, hold on, real quick. What did you do before Ukraine? Before you decided to go?
So I worked a little bit of private security, and then also I was working as a sampler. So I worked sampled products.
Ah, okay. Didn't you also were you a hunting guide?
Am I remembering correctly? I did a lot of hunting. I still live here in Oregon, so I hunt deer and snowshoe hare, and then also lots of small pests.
Nice.
And then I shoot long distance recreationally.
There you go. And What'd you do in Ukraine? I know I haven't actually talked about you, like, because I mean this is only our third episode, so really all we've gotten into is our first 4 hours. But give me like a
I mean, spend
2 minute.
the first week is just whole introduction of like everything I did.
Yeah, no, just give me like the 2 minute version of like what was your job in Ukraine, like your squad role.
Well, initially coming there, I was assisting with you guys with training and all that. So we were training Ukrainians with this PDF, and then we moved on from that to try to find more combat-oriented units. And so, I don't know, I really thought about how I would categorize my time there. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a foreign volunteer. That's all I can really think of.
Fair enough.
We went and fought with Carpathian Siege. That's all I can really think of. Only I originally started off with Carpathian Siege still, as because I didn't want to get paid. So I was one of the, I think, only people there who signed the volunteer contract, which was
yeah, because you signed and then held your volunteer contract for your entirety there, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
No, I signed and then swapped over because they said I had to, because I believe it was when Craig and when we had deaths. It might have been before that, actually.
So that was that was around the same time Jed and Pikey were killed on
I think it was before that, actually. I think it was for Colombia, and I don't know the other guy. I had never met them personally, but when they got killed because they were foreigners, British said that we were no longer. It might have been after that, but I just know he said we had to go sign the contract.
Yeah, and you were one of our squad's DMR guys. You had an L96 for a little while. I'm trying to find a picture of it real quick.
Yeah, I think it was like an L96. I think it was Swedish's version of it though, so it was like whatever their definition of it is. But
yeah, it was a 762x51 L96.
Yep.
I cannot find a picture of it at the moment. I have one somewhere. I'll show it. I'll kind of get back into that in a bit. But okay. And what do you do now? You said earlier you told me you were getting back in private security, right?
Yeah, I was just starting that, and then I broke my foot, so I just got the approval to start working again. So now I'm looking for a new job.
There you go. Yeah, we were talking pre-show, and we were joking about both of us came back relatively as far as like physical injuries, uninjured. Yeah, we both had pretty severe concussions here and there. But as far as like shrapnel wounds or broken bones, like we actually came away.
Nothing went through us.
Yeah, like God was on our side, my dude. Like we were in the same bunker together that got blown up a few different times. And my first 3 days back in country, I nicked my femoral artery with a chainsaw, and then a few months later you broke your hip and then your foot. So
yeah, and then recover from that, and then immediately break my foot.
So yeah. All right, sounds good. Who wants to go next with a quick intro?
I guess I'll go. So as you all know me I wasn't here last episode to introduce myself.
Yeah, not at the beginning.
Since you guys missed out. My name is Traven, aka Scrub. I am the diversity manager here. We're here just to make sure we don't get canceled within the first 3 weeks, which I think for manager today, technically, my job is fulfilled and I get my bonus. Isn't that right, Jamey?
I think so.
Oh, now he wants to be quiet. Okay, then.
This is news to me. It's like the meme. It's like, oh wait, y'all are getting paid? Yeah, because I'm sure not getting paid. Yeah.
Well, alrighty.
I'll have a check for you eventually. How about that? Yeah. We'll talk about it after the show.
What are you talking about?
One day.
But we agreed on just specifically banana lactic a whole bag.
Yeah.
Them out. How'd you forget this?
Yeah.
Is anybody else hiring?
Oh yeah, he's looking for a new podcast, a new diversity manager.
Yeah, I heard there was another guy recently that might have a podcast or so, but I'm still
Oh yeah,
sure
you
before
you can
throwing
check
the
out
application
Mike
there.
Dunn's podcast. That dude definitely needs a diversity
Yeah, he got that
manager.
Fed money. Oh wait, I'm not allowed to say that.
I don't know. Whatever, this rumors running around the funny money over there. I
Bro,
don't
what?
We don't do funny money over here.
Bro, check your internet,
Yeah,
dog.
We need the code to decipher this one.
Can you please also
My
offer the
AES
encryption
encryption
key?
password's invalid.
Yeah.
I don't speak robot.
Alright, who's next since you got potato internet?
Ian, you go.
This again?
What's up? I'm Ian. I run a small gear company. We do uniform mods and some stuff like that. I'm just here to hang out as a civilian observer.
Civilian observation group?
Making
can
it.
Oh, so this is who you're replacing with?
What?
What?
Where can they find you at, Ian?
You can find our shop at operatorsupply.com, or you can check us out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian, how do you spell
I'll
I'm not spelling it out.
I'll have a link in the description like last week. Alright, Blake, you're up.
I'm Blake. I am Jamey's coworker and best friend. I am also another civilian observer. Guns and gear are a hobby for me, so I have no military background or anything like that, but just here to offer whatever insight I can.
Sick. Also, I just found a photo of share your screen as I dox everyone again. Yeah, so yeah, Elon's here on the left with a L96 and a Sue. So, yeah, there you go. Hey, do you have this picture, Elon? Do you even have this one?
I do, yes. Yeah,
Okay,
I got that one.
perfect. Nice. All right. So, all right. So that's off my screen. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask like times 7 right now. Get my dock back up here. All right. So, I think what we'll start off with. So last week y'all heard about the first 24 hours of me getting into the country, things like that. So I met Elon, like he said, on the first or second day in Poland. I don't remember exactly which one. We tried to meet up the night I came in, and there was some miscommunication, and we ended up meeting, I think, the next day. Do you want to go over your first 24 hours, Elon? I guess you kind of did a little bit, talking about the embassy getting raided. You want to go into any detail about that? Meanwhile, I'm gonna throw some pictures up on the screen that I have, and yeah.
So I think I covered the embassy being raided in chat. There wasn't much to go over about that, except for when I showed up there, the embassy staff were in a panic, and a lot of their documents were being taken out of the building. And basically a minivan had pulled up with a bunch of guys in like multicam and like with carbines and wearing helmets and plate carriers and everything. They just got out and took a bunch of shit and were raiding the embassy, and I guess had a warrant for it. I'm not sure how it works in Poland, but I know embassies are.
Were you ever there when you? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Did you ever figure out? I know in future us being there, I was at least a part of some conversation where we figured out what happened. Did you ever figure out what happened? I don't know if we ever talked about that.
The embassy?
Yeah, like why they got raided.
So there were accusations going around at the time of people who had joined the Ukrainian Legion getting their passports taken from them or threatened.
Once again, Mike Dunn might need a new manager. Oh, Mike Dunn and Henry.
That's what I was told for why the embassy was having that happen because it was basically being used to kidnap, how Poland was being used to kidnap like foreign, like Westerners and whatnot entering Ukraine, it was like through Poland, which is like a NATO country. So they kind of immediately just raided the embassy and tried to put a stop to whatever was happening. So that ruined that for me, luckily, I guess. And then, so what was the
Just catch us up. So last week I stopped
first 24
us.
hours?
Yeah, first 24 hours. So last week I stopped us when we got to our contact's apartment the night after we got from left the black site. So yeah,
Okay.
like I told the story about us getting taken. So just kind of fill us in, like give us your side of the first 24 hours.
Yeah, so I'll give my side of it. So we pretty much like came in on this train. We get to the train station in Poland. Wait, no, it was in Lviv. So we're at the train station. It's packed getting off, and we get on. And you had originally gotten us first class tickets, I believe, for a sleeper cabin. And then
I don't know. I wasn't the one that bought the tickets. It was our Ukrainian contact V. They got us all of our tickets because.
Part of the story, though?
Wait, say again.
Did you go over that part of the story, like on the train and everything, and like?
No, what happened on the train? I don't remember that. Oh, I remember like it stopping a couple times. Like I think we even wore our plate, like because I made the comment last time. I was like,
because I guess you were kind of sleeping too on the train and everything, but nothing crazy happened on the train.
I thought it was funny, like us getting on and off the train with like quite literally. I know I had the most, but it was somewhere in the ballpark of like 250 to 300 pounds of gear, and then everyone else, like you I think, still had close to that. Like you had probably over 200, and it was a hassle just getting on.
I didn't have over 200 because I know I flew there with it, and it had to have been under 100 pounds.
Oh, see, I flew with like 3 check bags.
I had 1 check bag, just under 50, and then to save weight, I brought my plate carrier as a carry-on and wore it. And then also had a really big carry-on backpack, and then just had 1 check bag. So I didn't plan on having luggage couriers like you did.
Quick question. You said you got on the plane with your plate carrier? Was that
so you can actually fly, like you can bring them as a carry-on, I guess, as long as it's not like anything that's like ITAR prohibited, so level 4. But I flew with my level 4 plates back, so
I flew with mine there.
That's pretty cool.
And I flew with level 3 there.
Ken, I told everyone last time about your issues at the German airport and how they were convinced your red dots were night vision. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, so in Germany they were like really confused with a lot of the stuff I had brought through, and then they pulled me aside at the checkpoint, and I was already in a rush because I'd went and like visited. I think I flew in at Frankfurt airport, and then I went and visited the town. So I came back and have a lot of time to go through the airport screening. And then they pulled me aside, already had my bags, and they basically were going through all my gear, and I brought like a lot of my stuff long distance shooting. So I had my couple scopes. I had a red dot sight with a magnifier as well, and a spotting scope. And then they were particularly confused about the red dot sight and thought it was like night vision. I guess Germany has really strict night vision laws. So they were just going through all the gear and trying to make sure that like it was all legal to possess. And then eventually they realized my flight was like going to be missed. They kept me any longer. And they also realized I was going to Ukraine. So they just said, best of luck and let me go. So I guess I got lucky. But I guess the body armor was also a problem too. So I'm not sure if Germany is the best country to fly to with body armor. But I flew back with it as a carry-on. So.
Sorry, I'm
trying to think. Okay, so back to the first 24 hours, though. I guess I'll just keep talking.
Yeah, keep going. So, I'm just showing pictures of kind of us traveling and just kind of flipping through photos.
Stuff. So where was I? I'm trying to think. There's so much that happened in the first 24 hours. So I guess on the train. So we got moved off of our sleeper cabins and put in the far back of the train because they were loading the train with boxes. and then it was just us and like probably like 2 or 3 reporters on the train. I remember it was like no one on the train, but it was like absolutely packed to the brim leaving. So we're on the train. It keeps like stopping, and it's also going at like record speed, like all the way to Kyiv. So we get there pretty quickly. I remembered, and then we're at the train station. We try to sleep. I remember it was terrible because the ground was cold. Everything was shitty. I didn't really care that much, but I remember I was super hungry because I hadn't eaten before we left. So then I decided I was gonna go find us all food. And then I go out. It's pretty early in the morning still, so nothing was open. Nothing at the train station was open. And then also a lot of the military and police were telling me that there was food open at certain places, and I kept heading there, and then it would be closed. So then eventually some police officers took me into their underground bunker, and then they got into a fight and then called the main security people who came and picked up me and took me back to the train station to go get Jamey.
Which we found out were Ukrainian intelligence officers.
Yeah, they were called to investigate me as an alleged spy. So they wanted to meet my whole group and like speak to us all and see what our intentions in the country were.
Yeah, I told him last week, you know, how I woke up with a gun in my face, and he was like, "Come with." He's like, "Wait." He's like, "Get up! You're coming with us." And I looked at him. I was like, "I'm not going anywhere with you." And then Elon goes, "Don't worry, I fed him." They fed me.
They told me they were gonna mess with you. They told me. I remember the guy told me he was gonna mess with you in like his broken English. He's like, "We're gonna scare your friends or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I was like, "They'll probably laugh." And then I just remember he went in there, and I was like, "Oh, he's a little more aggressive than I thought he was gonna be with his gun and stuff."
Laugh, we did not.
And I remember too, you were just so like, he was like, "You're coming with me," and you were like, "No, I'm not."
I'm not going anywhere.
He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, don't do this."
Dude had clearly never been told no.
Come on, go get your food. Go get your food, man.
I have a picture.
24 hours, like, I remember it.
I'm trying to catch up with pictures here. Here.
Oh, him driving us through town was pretty cool.
Yeah, like I've got random pictures of us driving. Right now we're in the car. I haven't even gotten to the train station pictures. There's this, like, I will say, the churches are gorgeous. So, well, I guess actually y'all can't see it right now, but yeah, I'm flipping through pictures. I wish y'all could see this.
Oh, you took so many pictures. I will say this. I remember the first week of Ukraine being terrified of how many pictures you took.
So just this camera roll. Now this goes up to about 2 months before, no, 2 months after I was there and about 3 weeks before I left. And this is just over 10,000 photos.
How many pictures you? Oh, damn. Okay, that answered my question. Then I was gonna say how many pictures do you think you took like your whole time there, but
yeah, probably in the ballpark of 10,000, and that's not including videos. Let's see. Yeah, the churches are gorgeous.
Didn't you lose your Psionics in video off of that?
Yeah, I did lose my Psionics camera, and then I also lost a GoPro memory card, and I lost, coming out of the country, my 360 camera with the memory card and that. But that was mostly backed up. I only lost a few days of footage from that last one.
What are the odds you're still killing there?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I know exactly where the GoPro memory card is. Like, we could 100% go back there one day with a metal detector, I bet, and find it. Like, I know exactly where I dropped it.
I got so much stuff. I remember, a little off topic, but I just remember, like, I had to, like, demine this little area, and I was on a separate rotation from you and everyone else, all the other Westerners, so I was only Westerner in a small group of Ukrainians.
No, I lost the GoPro, I lost the Psionics and the GoPro SD card in the middle of the firefight.
Yeah, that was on, like, August, like, 28th or 9th or something like that, or somewhere in August, like, around then of last year. What I'm talking about happened in September. This was early September, I think, before I had left, right before we got hit in this shelter. But there was so much Russian gear that they had abandoned up in the, like, we were joking about it, like, after they started pulling out and stuff like that. There was just, like, I remember I made a stack of, like, 20 helmets, though, of, like, all their, like, I don't know what they're called, but it's, like, their steel helmets that they, like, coat with, like, Kevlar or Aramid.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Here's
Yeah,
a picture,
so-
guys, of I know y'all can't see it. I need to figure out how to like do that. I'll figure that out next time. But right now, there's an episode of me sleep. Hold on. I'll figure this out right now. Keep going. Sorry.
Too many pictures is your problem.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
trying
know
to
what
figure out a
look
way to
in my
like
hand.
screen cap while also not just doxing everyone. There. This should work.
Let's see what's for.
There we go. All right. Can y'all see that?
Yep.
Where is
so-
this?
So you
That's
go
it.
find the stream and open it.
Yeah, and I'm. It's in Discord.
Oh,
I'm
that's on the
streaming in
train?
Discord. I should be screen capping in Discord right now.
Wait, Jamie, where is this picture taken at?
It's a train station in Kiev, right when we got there. Because
Okay.
the air raid siren was going
yep,
off.
You're right.
We didn't have power.
remember
It
you
was
were sleeping against
freezing
the
cold.
rail.
I put every warm thing I had on except for my Gore-Tex because it was in the
I
bottom of my
remember I
bag.
was warm as fuck because I had like this like negative 40-degree rated sleeping bag.
I was freezing cold,
And
dude.
I had an air
I,
mattress.
I may have gotten my sleeping bag out at the end. I didn't at first. I tried to sleep without it because I didn't know like the situation. I didn't want to get like all warm and in my sleeping bag.
I remember I woke up super warm, came out of my sleeping bag,
Oh.
and I was like, "Holy shit, it's cold out here."
This answered my question. I did in fact sleep in my sleeping bag because there's me in in my kit in jeans and chacos,
Yeah.
laying on top of my sleeping bag.
You definitely got in that.
So this is
Right outside the train station.
yeah. So this was, I guess, right in the next morning when we were being escorted off. Was I just like snap? Oh, these are taken through a car. So
Yeah.
I guess this is when we're leaving the train station. We're being escorted away, and then now we're
but
in the
which private
SUV.
people?
Because see the this is taken through windows, so we're now in the car that we were like taken to, or taken in to the intelligence office. Yeah, because these are all taken
I
while
remember-
driving. Oh, so I
really
talked
remember
last.
thinking this is not the time to take pictures.
Yeah, I was like, nah, screw all you guys. I'm taking photos. And then I kind of joked last week. I was like, so I appreciate their hospitality for food, but they gave us basically like a piece of bread and a slice of ham. Yeah, this is what we had for breakfast.
I was talking to the guy. I was like, I'm not a spy, but I did just meet these guys like a week ago on the internet. Okay, I'm not trying to get in any trouble here.
Then I have. Oh, I don't know where this is. This might be us sitting in the hallway while we were listening to the interrogations. I don't know where else this
That's
would be.
definitely probably what this is.
Because that's about the same size of the
I thought the hallway
hallway.
was wider. It was
Oh,
a narrow
yeah, no.
hallway with a bunch of chairs.
Yeah, no,
There's a guy in
this is
between
where it
us,
was.
like,
Because
duct
look
tape.
at the next photo. Here's the next photo.
No, that
It's
was in
the-
the interrogation room.
the door was locked from the outside, so we couldn't leave. And we had no cell service, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. We had no idea where we were. Like, we couldn't even get a GPS lock.
Yeah, I do
Um,
remember this.
I found
I
this
remember
random
about
box
wanting
of
to put my
bullets
phone
in the
on.
drawer. I wanted to take it, but I was worried I was going to get in trouble, so I didn't take the bullets. Hindsight. I
Yeah,
should've.
dude, I was like, you're gonna get me into so much trouble. I was like, you were making me so paranoid my first 3 days before we got to know you.
I think this must have been after we left. Looks like about the same day, because it was the evening when we left. Yeah, this is the evening when we were finally allowed to leave. He was driving us to our apartment we would stay at that night.
No, this was when he was taking us on a tour
Oh.
to go do some of his errands. He
Uh,
was like, we're still waiting for our chaperone.
yeah, you're right. Alright.
He goes across the bridge.
Get out of that.
First time crossing the Dnipro with a stranger.
Oh, yeah, I told that story last time. He, like, drove us, like, this whole lot, let the car, like, I think kept it on, maybe he locked the door, I don't remember, and then was like, I'll be back, and just leaves us for, like, 20 minutes while we're sitting in this car, and we're like,
What?
like, we can hear the artillery going off. Yeah, we were much more chill,
Out of
but...
his office. He left us there for like 6 hours, 10 hours. I don't even
Yeah,
remember
but the
at this point.
door was locked. We couldn't leave. He locked the door from the outside. Let's see, what else do we have? A Polaroid, maybe? I don't know what this is. Oh yeah, my feet are gonna be on Feet Finder now. There you go. Oh wait, they couldn't even see that. Let's see, share your screen again. Screen 2, go live. Full screen. There we go.
What is this?
I have no idea. It looks like a Polaroid. I'm not really sure, but my feet are in it, so y'all have fun with that one. Or
So that
I'll
was
do
when
with
we
feet.
first met. What was her name? I guess that's her name.
No,
Her name.
yeah,
So
yeah.
When
V.
we first met our contact, and then she took a photo of all of us.
Oh well, that's the
I
photo.
think
I
that
don't
was-
know why I took one before it,
I think
like
that
before
was,
it turned into a photo.
Yeah, I don't know. You must have been trying to be artsy on this one. You see my super warm sleeping bag there to the right.
Oh, your red one? Is that your red one? I can see my duffel bag
Yeah.
that got stolen on the up there in the right. This is, I guess we're running errands the next day. Random dude standing in the middle of the street. I would just like to say, so, we'll kind of lean into now, this is after our first 24 hours there. The streets were empty. Like, there was no people there. Like, taxi,
Well,
like, you
all the
could
blocks
literally go from one side of Kyiv to the other in, like, 15 minutes tops. Like, what would
Yeah, no
normally
one drove
take
slow
you...
at the time.
Say again, sorry.
Oh, I said no one drove slow at the time.
Yeah. I think... Oh, we were grocery shopping. That's what we were doing. Because the noodles impressed me. I was like, bro, you can buy noodles by the scoopful.
During
Oh,
COVID.
same thing with the sugar. Is that sugar or salt? I can't read the... Sugar. That's sugar. And, like, you can literally just, like, scoop out how much you want. Oh, my SIM card. I forget. I don't know why I took a picture of these.
What
The
is it?
Peronis. For, whatever they are. I don't know why I took a picture of those. Basil seed drinks? That looks disgusting. That's probably why I took a picture of that. That looks
It's like
gross,
some
dude.
photo.
It's like little alien organisms floating around in there. Alright, hold on. Pull my dock back up here. I'm getting a little sidetracked. So after our first 24 hours there, we, I wish I could put these pictures on a slideshow. I'll do better about pictures. So after we got dropped off at V's house or contact, we stayed with her for, what was it, 2 days? I think it was 2 days. Do you remember?
Oh, sorry. I was zoning out. What were you saying?
How long did we stay with her? Was it 2 days?
We stayed, I want to say 1 night, and then the next day, it might have been 2. I think it was 2 because she left us. No, it must have been longer than that. I think it was 3 because she left us like over, like, was doing to work, I think, 2 times. Or 1, 2.
Yeah, I
Like,
do
just
kind of
during the
remember
day.
that.
And then eventually she was like, we had a couple meetings, I believe, or we were at least doing stuff.
Yeah, we were meeting with
virtually,
different
I mean,
people,
like,
different groups. We were networking pretty hard because, like I said last week, we went there without really any plan. Like, between the three of
Yeah.
us, we had 0 plan put together. It was essential, and because it was like so impossible to plan anything.
Yeah, everything was changing every day.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was completely fluid. Like one day the Legion would be like, "Oh yeah, we're recruiting." The next day they're like, "We're not recruiting." Then the next day they'd be like, "Send us in an application," which I did. Yeah. And then once I sent in my application, I didn't hear anything back until, like, I was already in Ukraine for a month at that point. Like, things are changing so much. So we basically went there and just tried to figure out, like, who to contact, who to group up with, how to do that. So after we were there for a couple days, we got our own apartment. Here's a photo of it.
Yep, there it is.
So, this thing was nice. And I came to find out later, here's a few more pictures of it.
That's your room, right? Yep.
Yeah, that's the room I was in. There's my kit at the time. All laid out. I don't remember why I took so many pictures of it. Ah, yes!
We had
we
to
got
for-
Chris Dorner front and center, my dudes. Never corner the
Can't be
Dorner.
cornered.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I guess I was just showcasing my stickers at the apartment. A random half-eaten sandwich. All right. Here's the kitchen. Like all that to say, this apartment was very nice.
heated floors.
Yeah. I'm trying not to dox the other individual in the room with us. Yeah, it had heated floors for like the bathroom and the kitchen. Like it was really nice. And we were super blessed to have that. It was literally just given to us to live in semi-permanently until people started moving back to Kyiv. And then come to find out that apartment was rented out on like Airbnb for somewhere around the ballpark of like $1,000 a month US. So like it was a quite nice apartment. We were extremely blessed to have it. And it was within what I would say 200-300 meters from Medan.
Yeah, very close. I would say that's probably about the distance.
There's me building out my
Like a
AK
minute
parts. Yeah, so this is right at, so once we got that apartment, we were able to like actually shop for groceries. Like we needed things. Like at that point we had, you know, an MRE or two each just to like as an emergency. Like we had our equipment, our gear, we had money, but I mean, it was what we'd raised to go. Like we weren't getting paid anything. It was all volunteer. Well, yeah, I mean, we came over there without a job. Yeah, because all of us quit our jobs to go. So we started trying to shop. Oh, Pikachu toothpaste. That's what interested me in the store. Cool. But we started walking around and we found that it was really hard to find food. Like, I mean, obviously, you know, it's in the middle of a war. But like, if we wanted something, oh, there's is that Medan down there? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's Medan Square, or an angle of it. But what we found was it was very hard to like find food. Like if we want to make a meal or something, we might have to go to like one store or in Ukrainian it's a magazine. You'd go to like one magazine and get like cheese, and then another would have bread, and the other would have like pasta noodles. The other would have pasta sauce. Like we got quite familiar with that whole district of Kyiv just from walking around looking for food.
I will say I had a good time. I only had to walk roughly like 30 feet to get food because there was the market on the corner that we would always go to.
Oh, true. And but some days they wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They had. I will say this. That's the only reason I liked them though, is because I had a very bland diet, and all I ate was eggs, bread, and sunflower oil.
Dude, that's what you ate.
I think
for the 9 months you were there.
Yeah, and Winston cigarettes, and they had everything I needed.
Oh yeah, there's so many crazy. So I don't smoke. You smoke? Do you still smoke?
Yeah, I still smoke.
Gosh,
yeah, the
dang
cigarettes
Elon.
they're cool.
Yeah, the cigarettes are so cool. I remember like you could trade a pack of cigarettes for just about anything, depending on the time period or like what was available. Like I found these like grape crush, so it was like the equivalent of like a menthol crush, but they were grape, and I traded those one day
like all
for
they had.
like something
Like
astronomical.
Well, I don't know if you didn't smoke, so you probably don't remember this, but for like the first, I want to say 2 weeks we were there, all they had was the grape crush Winston, the purple one, and I'd never even tried them before. And
well, yeah, it's because like flavored cigarettes are basically just banned in the States.
Yeah, they were good for like not ever having something like that. So it was like a nice treat to only have like one choice.
Here's something that I found. This I liked this one, so I took a picture of it. Can y'all see that?
Oh yeah.
Based Ukrainians at it again.
The funny thing is, I passed that like months later after this photo.
Oh yeah, it was up, I believe, when I actually like when we came back to Kyiv, like months later after this photo, it was still there, and there were more of them,
yeah,
like other places. I was so proud.
Yeah, I saw them all over.
I was so proud.
There's like a stencil.
There's a fine meal I was eating.
Oh,
bread, cheese, and eggs. What do you mean?
You were this throw the skillet in the fucking sink afterwards after this stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
That's air out some dirty laundry. Good time.
Yeah, I'm not the best at cleaning dishes. Let's see. So we almost got shot at, we were walking around one day looking for food, and we almost got shot at a checkpoint. So, needless to say, at this point in time, none of us spoke any Ukrainian or Russian. Like, none. Like, not even, I mean, I think we knew, like, Tarkov words, and that was it. Outside of that, we didn't know anything. And so we're walking down the road. I think you were there for this one, Elon. It may have just been me and S, the other guy with us at the time. But we're walking down the road, and we go past this checkpoint, which we didn't really realize was a checkpoint, because, like, so it was a four-way intersection. We were trying to go left, and the checkpoint only was set up if we were going right and straight. So, like, we didn't realize it would be an issue. And so we, like, get to the top of this hill. We're walking up to the intersection, and we go to kind of turn left, and he says something. And we kind of look at him, and if I remember correctly, I think we pointed to the left or something and, like, continued to walk. I don't remember exactly. And we hear the dude, like, take his safety off and rack his weapon. And we're like, I think we all just kind of froze and, like, go to turn around and look at him, and he's, like, low ready, like, aiming at our, like, feet or legs. And we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And we're, like, trying to explain, you know, hey, we're Americans, and he's, like, asking us, or, like, telling us something, like, repeating a word, and we don't know the word. And, finally, he's like, documents, and we're like, oh, okay, so we hand him our passport, and he's, like, looking at us, looking at our passports, and finally lets us go. But that was a bit nerve-wracking, just, like, you know, this dude was obviously not necessarily scared, but they were so on edge. Like, you could have probably dropped a book, and if it made him a loud noise, like, they would shoot at it. Like, around the same time, I remember I think it was the first week we were there, I might have the video, where, we thought it was a firefight in the street. Because, I mean, also bear in mind, like, people running checkpoints or accidentally running checkpoints and getting shot, that was a big thing, and we thought that's what had happened, like, right out front of our apartment. It was about 100 meters away. And we're, like, all sitting in the apartment, all of a sudden, like, gunshots happen, and it turns out, we learned the next day, the dudes thought a drone was flying overhead, but it was, like, it turned out to literally be, like, a star, or just, like, something blinking, and they thought it was a drone, so they were shooting it from the air. But, like, they were edgy. Like, anything would set those guys off, so we were like, you know, we're Americans, here's our documents, just don't shoot us. Keep it cool. Yeah, we de-escalated the situation better than 90% of the police departments in the U.S. Boom, got him.
Well, we were unarmed at the time too.
Yeah, we were unarmed. Kind of like a significant portion that the U.S. police shoot. Wow, I'm spicy tonight.
Decide to add a little Tabasco to yourself, buddy?
So much for keeping politics to a minimum.
They always bleed through.
Yep. I know somewhere in here I have a picture of an up-armored Land Cruiser, because I saw it for the first time, and I was like, no way! An up-armored Land Cruiser.
Was it done proper, or was it done, like, at least close to
proper?
Oh, no, proper. Like, proper. They were covering up all the statues with sandbags. Let's see. I found these super cool Oreos. They now have them in the US too. They were chocolate-covered Oreos. They're pretty cool. We found chicken one day. We had chicken with noodles and eggs, or ramen.
Is that ramen with eggs and chicken?
Dude, you do what you gotta do.
Here's a real question. What flavor was the ramen?
Bro, I couldn't read the package. I just bought it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
the package. We know the colors. What do you mean? Was it an orange? Was it brown?
My dude, you can see the photo.
Like
I don't see any color in it.
The packaging. No, the packaging would be really generic. Like, there'd be, like, one package with, like, several different flavors. Sometimes it would be, like, a picture of the meat on it.
Never had I thought about, like, how important product marketing is from, like, the package until I went there. And, like, some products, I'd be like, dude, I have no idea what this actually is. Like, I can't read this language, and I can't tell from the packaging.
Brands that I love.
And then other
certain brands.
For all you know, you were eating horse pedicity flavored ramen.
Exactly. Like, and on other hand, sometimes you'd pick up a package, and while you can't read, like, it has a clear photo of a chicken. You're like, chicken, I know that photo. You know, it's like, yeah.
I don't know if you remember this feeling, but the variety of juice there. And it would all be like the same company, but
so Ukrainian word for Jew or Russian? I don't remember which but sok. So like I didn't learn a whole lot of Ukrainian words, but I knew how to or Ukrainian or Russian, but I knew how to order like yablichny sok at a restaurant or like ask for it at like the gas station or the magazine or whatever. Because that's apple juice, and that's my favorite juice. So I just go up to any store and be like, yablichny sok, and they just like walk me to it. I'm like, thanks so much. Yeah, there's like 50 juice. You can get like cherry and apple or cherry with this or whatever.
So here's an important question: was it like actual pressed juice, or was it like the shit that we get here in America?
It depended. So you could get the juice we had in America, but you could also get, like, real juice. Like, it was kind of left up to you.
It's like all real juice, mostly.
Yeah, on a
little market store.
Yeah, it was much easier to find real juice there than it was here. Like, here, like...
Everywhere. It's so good.
Yeah,
even on the front line, real juice is easier to find than here.
Yeah, that's true.
So, E, I gotta ask you this. Was the first juice you tried to find grape juice, and then throw you off when you found out purple drink and grape juice was two different things?
Huh?
That question threw me off.
Yeah, re-explain, please.
Talking about like artificial grape flavor?
Yeah. I'm saying, you went there. Did you actively look for like grape juice when you got there?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I go for all the real. They did have like their. They'd have like all their juices were mixed. So it'd never just be like one flavor. You could sometimes find like one flavor for like apple juice. I remember all their grape juices, so it would all be green grapes too. Not like purple drink like you're thinking.
Purple drink.
Yeah. Yeah, because like they tell us grape is like this weird purple drink. Like legitimately have like as well just used to make real grape juice.
Yeah.
And it's like completely different than like.
Well, I don't even think real grape juice would be purple at all.
I think you have purple juice.
Like even if it's like purple grapes, I feel like the juice wouldn't be purple. Like that has to be like a dye or something. Now I want to know.
Those dyes must be illegal in Ukraine. I will say I love like the food there.
Yo, yeah, the food was delicious. In fact, here I have a photo.
They definitely eat better there than the here.
Where is it? I have a picture of some Georgian food. Where'd it go?
Oh, dude, I'm talking about the KFC.
Oh, dude, the KFC wouldn't open until we were there for like 6 months at that point.
Kidding.
Like I remember the first time I got KFC there, and I was extremely disappointed. Not even gonna lie.
I got that a lot.
Here's some Georgian food.
Not a lot.
So I actually got some of this the other day. So and there's my gum in a wrapper. I love Georgian food, and there's a place here in Charleston. I forget the name of it, but I went there the other day with Blake. Oh yeah, Euro Foods. That's what it is. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Mediterranean food, like.
Yeah. Well, not Mediterranean. It's European. I mean, I guess.
I thought you were talking about like euros, like lamb euros.
Oh no. Euro, like EURO.
Yeah.
But we went there the other day, and we both got some borscht, and I got some Georgian food, and it was delicious, and it made me really miss Ukraine. The reason we ate so much Georgian food is so when we first went, there was like quite literally a single restaurant open within, I don't know, several kilometers walking distance, like that actually served food and not just alcohol, and it was the Georgian place. and yeah, ate there a lot.
And the
You could
shawarma
get.
stand.
Say again.
And that there's also that shawarma stand right outside. That's where I would usually go.
Oh yeah, the shawarma. Oh wait, I have a photo of that too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just
We'll,
thinking
we'll
about-
give the shawarma stand in front of
Yeah,
the Georgian restaurant a
Shivering
shout out. He spoke
to this guy.
conversational English, and he was talking to us for a little while, and we were like, dude, can we get our picture? He's
I
like,
found
yeah.
him my last day in Kyiv. I went and talked to him my last day in Kyiv, showed him pictures of us all.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I hope he's still there. Shout out to my guy.
He remembered us. He had the picture of us, and I had the picture of us with him also.
Oh, dude, that's like wholesome.
I think one of us handed him, or he took someone handed. He had his phone to take a picture with of us all. I think.
Dude, that's wholesome. We went up. So this whole time we were trying to look for like a group to link in with, whether it was the International Legion. Like, well, we were being relatively picky. We went somewhere that was actually gonna like take care of us, and we weren't gonna get used. So, but overall, we were looking at like.
We're doing quite a bit of side quests at the time too.
Say again. Sorry.
I said we were doing quite a bit of side quests at the time too. I feel it's a good way to...
Yeah, we were walking all over. We So at one point we met a group at, I forget the name of this hotel. Oh my goodness. I have so many windows open now. I didn't realize it was just opening windows on top of windows. Hello. What's going on? Hold, please.
Well, why are you doing that? Tell us about this Georginian food. Like, what was it mainly consisting of? It seems like you're eating like flat bread, like, excuse my ignorance, but it looked like cheddar cheese.
I need the encryption code for this one.
Oh shit! Is my connection that bad?
Yeah. It's fine now, or right this second. Yeah, all I heard was something like flat bread. Like, tell us something. Sorry.
Dude, it's fucking Chicago. Like, I'm sitting on the top of the fucking trailer trying to get a signal right now. I think I'm gonna have to bust out the antenna. I think I left that in the other truck.
But no. What were you asking about, the consistency or bread or something?
No. I was asking like, what is like the Georginian food consisted of?
Oh,
like,
the Georgian food. Yeah. So
yeah.
There's two different ways to get it. I don't remember the names. And what I actually thought were the names, I knew the Ukrainian names, not what they're actually called in Georgia. So like, I don't know what to technically properly call them. So essentially, imagine it like a personal pizza. Like, this is one way of ordering it. Like an 8-inch personal pizza. Essentially, it's kind of doughy, dense bread. With like maybe like a butter and cheese sauce on top. Like, there's no vegetables. There's no like tomato sauce. It's just bread, butter, and cheese and egg. It's like this kind of sauce that they make, I suppose, and put it on top. And it's delicious. The other way to buy it is it's almost like a bread bowl, like similar consistency to the bread, the like pizza variant. But it's once again butter and cheese, like just piled in this bread bowl, and then they crack an egg and just put like the raw egg on top of it. And what you're supposed to do is mix it all up inside the bowl and, well, eat it like you would any other bread bowl thing. It's delicious. Like, it's so basic but so good.
Until that raw egg hits you.
Hits you like a brick. So this whole time we were there, that first week, we were having meetings trying to get linked up with a group. This is the hotel at the top of Maidan. At the top of the hill. I don't actually remember which direction. But if you look at like the
towards where our apartment would be.
Yes, yeah. So our apartment was literally on the 12 o'clock position, probably 400 or 500 meters. on the between the big glass dome and the like gray building. That is like the postal service building.
I want to see it facing north.
Let's see, the Dnieper River's on our right in this photo. So yes, this photo is facing north.
I don't know how centered my. I was just checking how centered.
Yeah, no, this photo would be facing north.
My done.
So yeah, the Dnieper River's on our right. The building on the right side, I believe that's some kind of bank building, if I remember correctly. And the building on the left side of Maidan is at least the corner part of it there you can see is the postal building. Fun fact, that line was at any given time like easily 100, 200 people long of people trying to get their mail or parcels, anything like that, because they weren't like delivering at the time. So you constantly had to go pick everything up. I don't see it in the photo. It might be in one of my other photos here. But there was, for a while, a massive anti-air gun parked in this parking lot. But I don't see it in
I think you purposely didn't capture it.
I may have purposely not clipped it, but it was like an old school, like, a toe-behind anti-air gun that was covered up by a camo net with, like, sandbags all around it, with, like, mags that stacked up around it to basically just, I guess, shoot down drones. I don't know. This hotel had a lot of, NGO, non-government organization, like, executives staying at it. It had some diplomats staying at it. This was kind of a high-profile hotel. You actually had to walk through a little mini security checkpoint to get up to the hotel. I guess to make sure that no one's trying to be assassinated.
Hey, quick question. In that photo, you got a picture of what looks to be like that Ukrainian Tahoe you was talking about.
I believe that is exactly what we wrote in. Not that exact one, but I think that's the same model. Elon, is that the Vic we got picked up in from the train station taken to the Ukrainian intelligence HQ? Is that the same vehicle? It looks about the same. It was a Tahoe-sized, completely blacked out SUV. That looks like it's about the same size.
I don't think that was the same vehicle. I don't honestly remember those. That wasn't the most memorable thing.
It was very similar.
Yeah, so
I don't remember the exact details, but it was very similar. But yeah, we met a group up here. There's a little coffee shop right down the road from here. I don't appear to have any pictures of it. Where we met, Swampy and some of his guys. Those watching, who are kind of follow a lot of the Ukrainian group. Swampy's an EOD tech, working in Ukraine. He's been there since... Oh, he actually left and came back a few times. I'm sure if you ask him or go on his Instagram, he has more details. But he was pretty well connected. We met him and his guys for potentially doing EOD clearing. He's a cool dude. I know he worked with like NorArm Tactical. I think it's Is it NorArm Tactical who makes the shooter? I know the shooter shirts. I know their brand is NorArm. I just don't remember if it's Tactical or not. But yeah, he worked with the NorArm guys for a little while. Super cool dude. And then kind of one of our last talking points is the Buena Vista bar. Once again, I do not have any pictures of that, but we can find that one on Google. So Buena...
we were told not to take pictures, I remember, because we don't want to be mistaken for journalists.
Oh, yeah. There were no... Yes, I do remember that. They weren't allowing journalists in, or something like that, and there was a checkpoint literally out front.
They were allowing journalists in at the time, but they just didn't want people... there are a lot of journalists who, like, secretly take pictures with their phones or videos or record conversations with people. So, just to avoid any confrontation or accusations of that towards us, we chose not to use our phones.
Okay.
I think that was the situation.
Also, fun fact, this bar is apparently a very popular bar in, like, Kyiv, and it's, like, all over TripAdvisor and stuff, which is hilarious to see.
Surprise.
So let me drag this over to the screen. Can y'all see this?
There was a lot of journalists.
So this is Buena Vista. I believe everyone can see right now.
Like 2 stars. Got beat up for taking a photo. And loud gunfire outside.
Oh wait, I just realized. OMG. Hold on. I just realized the viewers can't see all the pictures I was sharing. That's hilarious. Rip. Sorry, guys. I need another monitor. Your Steam is still running. How can I share these with you guys and them at the same time? I guess I can do this. Alright, there we go. So this is Buena Vista Bar. It's a super kind of hipster-esque bar. If you've been to, like, Art Bar in Colombia, Blake, you went to Art with me, didn't you? For, Zach's, the same Zach that we have on here, his, after his wedding or whatever.
Or whatever.
I think it was that same night. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the night after, or the night of his wedding afterward. It's very similar to that. It's like a super hipster bar. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. The, like, atmosphere is amazing. Let's see. Yeah, so you walk in, we're meeting a new team, a new group to potentially link up with. We walk in, and it's like this, once again, the super hipster bar, but there's just, it's full of foreign camo dudes. Like, you can walk in and you hear English, German, like, all these different, Spanish, like, all these different languages other than, like, Ukrainian or Russian. And, just full of camo dudes. I remember there was this one guy, like, standing near the front door on the inside with his, like, M10. It was either an M110 or an SR25. And, like, full kit. And I'm like, dude, what's up? Like, why you got your stuff, or whatever. And he's like, dude, I just came back from Bucha. He's like, I'm off rotation with my team. And, I haven't even been back to my base yet. I just needed a drink. So we stopped by here. And I was like, dang, dude. Must have been a rough thing. Like, he was, like, dirty. Like, it was pretty cool. There were dudes, like, had their AKs tossed on the tables, like, cleaning them in the bar. It was great. That's where we met some of the hospitaliers. You followed them on Instagram. There's a... Yo, look at this picture. Hold on. Can I not make it, like, full size? There is a crucified Jesus on a Facebook logo with an American flag. Like... What?
Why?
Yo.
Yeah, why?
In the middle of Kyiv, Ukraine, he's got a, like, American flag, like, loincloth on.
Wow.
Cool. Alright, that's interesting. So yeah, that's Buena Vista. Now that I've figured out my screen situation. I guess now that I've figured that out, I can throw some more pictures back up. So, but yeah, so we walk in, there's, like, guys just standing around full kit. Cleaning weapons. It was a super cool experience. Like I said, we met hospitaliers there. We met guys just coming out of Bucha. You name it. Alright. That's all I really have for the first week. Because it turns out, that was about our first week. The first time we went to Buena Vista, we met our team that we would then be with. And we would travel all the way to, let's see, we would meet, oh, I'll just go and say it. He doesn't even care. He posts everything. We met, James, or Leeds. We met, another buddy, In, who was with us for a while, and obviously Elon and I stayed together for... Elon, when did you go home? September? October?
Yeah, I think it was at the end of September, I want to say, is when I ended up heading home.
Okay. So yeah, that we would meet our semi-permanent team at Buena Vista that night, and we'd kind of go on more adventures. We'd start training soldiers. We'll kind of get into that next week. But yeah, we started a training session with I think we had a team of 5 at that point. The guy we traveled into country with, Elon and I, he went on and started working with I don't know how public information this is. He started working with an evac and a medical evac team in Harheave. And so I guess it's probably fine to say. No, we won't. But yeah, he started working with that team. It's a relatively popular-esque team. It's an NGO group. They do humanitarian aid all over the world for whether it's hurricanes or whatever. He started working with them for a little while, and then I think he went home a few months later. But Elon and I met up, but then we ended up kind of splitting. We split from S. Elon and I went on with, we met Leeds, and then another guy, and then another guy, so 5. And then we started training Ukrainian volunteers with territory defense. And then we did that until July. When did we actually, no. We did that until May or June. And then we started working with a medical evac team, and then we actually got onto the front lines in late June, early July, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when we actually signed volunteer contracts and started going on position. Oh, wait, sorry, say that again?
Oh, sorry, I was just adding. I said all the dates were kind of blurred to me at the time.
Yeah. Yep. So, that's probably where we'll leave it for this week. You have anything to add, Elon? Anybody have any questions? Sorry, I was just kind of rapid-firing stuff off this week. Ian, Traven, Blake, y'all have any questions? What you got?
Hey, E. So, shit, I forgot what's called. The site that you're at, the suit, is it as shitty as it actually looks like in like the video games and the images they give out, or is it pretty clear?
What? Wait, did you say the L96? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and they had a suit. The site had the suit for it, right? It's like it's like an old, bloated out post reticle. It's like every depiction that I've seen of it in modern media as well.
No,
like
you're thinking of no. You're thinking of the British machine, like the British gun. The what's the British main AR? That's what you're thinking about with the SUSAT on top.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. L82 is what it is, right?
Hold on. It's the one that Leeds was always like talking about.
L85.
L85. Yeah, you're thinking about the L85. Thanks, Ian. The L96 is the was it accuracy intervent? What is it?
Accuracy International, yeah.
International, yeah. I'm thinking of like the intervention from by Shaytech.
They come up with much cooler names. They need to be like fucking Q with the fix and the honey badger. It's so much easier to remember shit except a single letter and 2 numbers behind it.
Yeah, no, this is the L96.
Oh, okay. You were out there running with the op. Did you feel like you were playing a game of Counter-Strike?
Dude, so, do you remember the story, Elon, of how you got this? I don't remember exactly. I just kind of remember, like, you being the DMR, not technically a sniper, but like the only long-distance shooter we had. And then our commander at the time just was like, oh, I have something for you or something, and brings out a case. I don't remember the exact story. Elon, your mic's muted.
Are the sporterized version of those shooting for like $5-6 grand on the open market?
Probably more than that. Oh, well, maybe the sporterized. I don't know. They're great guns. They're not like, I know in some of like the past CODs, I think it was Modern Warfare 2 that kind of had them in it.
Well, I mean, practically every mainstream game had L96.
Fair.
I mean,
they kind of got the reputation. Sorry, say again, Blake, or whoever that was. So you can get them in different things. I believe it was originally designed to shoot 300 Win Mag or 308 Lapua. Ours was 760 by 51, so a 308. But you could get them, if I remember correctly, in 300 Win Mag, 338 Lapua, or 308, or well, I mean 760 by 51 NATO.
I think originally when they were.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think originally when they were adopted, they were made in 338 Lapua. But that was back when like they were making
That's
them in that.
so cool.
You know the story behind it?
I do not know the story behind it. Is there a story behind it?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown. So when they were making these, before they made their bid for the contract, they were actually making them out of a garage. So when they put their bid in and they actually were up after winning the bid, the military advisors came in to come take a look at their operation. So they rented out a big ass fucking warehouse, took several guns in the various stages of being put together, and then they walked them through. And like these military advisors are going around, they're like, "Oh, we just wanted to make sure that you weren't just two guys in the shed putting these things together." And he's like, "Hey, where's your employees at?" And he was like, "Every single one of them was at lunch." No,
Are
double
you
check
serious?
behind. I'm very serious. I like double check behind me though to make sure. But I believe that is the correct story for.
Yeah, I've heard that before too.
Excuse me.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's legendary, dude. That's great.
So what happens when they get the first big order, though?
Oh no, they got found out in that first big order.
I was about to say, like, what happens when they order like a couple thousand of these rifles and they can't produce them fast enough?
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. But I mean, the product was so good that they didn't cancel them or sue them or
Yeah,
anything.
Here is the technical data sheet for the L96A1 Arctic Warfare, and this is the one we had. Elon can fact check this, but if I remember correctly, this is it. Our biggest complaint, and I'll speak for Elon since I don't know what's going on with that, was that we couldn't put a suppressor on it because it didn't have standardized threads. It was like a special lug mount. And, well, this being Ukraine and it being an older, but, older and foreign sniper rifle, it was unobtainable. So we ended up running it without a suppressor. Well, he ended up running it without a suppressor. He did get a scope for it. It was, I want to say it was like a 4 to like 18 time scope. It was, it wasn't bad. But, yeah, it was great. It's a great gun. It is a little bit older. Like, it's not crazy, when you compare it to, like, modern day. I mean, this thing was developed in the mid-'80s, if I remember correctly. So while it still, holds its own, compared to modern day designated sniper rifles, it's not, anything crazy. But it's still a very cool, very fun gun to shoot. It was great. I have shot it, or I did shoot it. So, effective range 800 meters with 7.62. NATO, twist rate 1 in 12. I wonder if that's for the 338.
Surprisingly low.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems low. But also I'm not exactly designated marksman here. Elon, where are you? I have questions.
Wasn't attached to like a 22 inch barrel. 1 in 12 is not that bad, especially if you're floating out like 147.
Barrel length 26 inches. So it gets 2 full rotations. I guess technically you're right. I mean, because technically when we're looking at like, a 1 in 8 or a 1 in 9 twist rate, we're referring to a 16-inch barrel. So, yeah, I mean, it's still getting 2 full rotations. That's fair, I suppose. The trigger was great. I loved the trigger on it. I wish I would have gotten the, like, Grand Thumb-esque Ghost the trigger like I did my VSS. But yeah. What else y'all got? Y'all got any other questions or anything?
Just a tangent. Anybody see Grand Thumb's new video earlier today?
I did not. What was it on?
They were just shooting random ass shit through different random ass calibers through shit that they shouldn't be shot through. Like they were firing was it 7.62 NATO through 410s and then a 50 through a 12. And then he got super surprised when the 50 shot through the 12. He was like, "Why the fuck did that happen?" I'm like, "Because the case expanded."
Hey, if God didn't intend for it to happen, he wouldn't have made it. That's all I'm gonna say. Current events.
So,
Unless you'll have any.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, hi. Welcome back.
Sorry,
Elon.
sorry for those technical difficulties.
I had to teach Traven about the L96 with an infographic I found on the internet.
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't able to talk. I was just kind of looking at it. I was trying to figure out my issue.
Does anyone else have anything to add before we move on to current events? I know it was a bit of a slow, just kind of chaotic episode. I'm gonna do better about working on pictures and getting them like up there because the audience didn't even see all of our photos, which is kind of disappointing. Y'all saw them. I know at one point I was showing them just to the audience, and then another point I was showing them just to you guys, and I didn't realize it. So, so for current events this week, we have, do you mind starting us off, Ian, with the whole, Niger situation? Or, well, it's becoming the Africa situation in general?
Yeah, it's rapidly expanding beyond.
Yeah, it's about to be a worldwide.
Basically, Niger got tired of France fucking them out of all their uranium, so the new military government has said that they're pretty much cutting ties with any European country or just the Western world in general. And the ECOWAS nations have all said that they're going to intervene if they don't reinstate the former president, who is pro-Western Europe. And the neighboring countries, Mali and Burkina Faso and a couple other smaller nations, have said that if ECOWAS intervenes, that they're going to intervene on behalf of the new government. So, the new Niger government has reached out to Wagner Group for help with that as well. So it's rapidly expanding beyond just a Niger problem.
Yeah, I know Wagner president, leader, commander, my guy. He, I guess we talked about last week briefly. He was kind of like, hey, if y'all need help, let me know. Well, now they've, from my understanding, formally requested help.
Right.
So, yeah. Where can we see this going? Like, from a realistic standpoint?
I hesitate to try to speculate where this is going to go because it has the potential to go one of several ways. I mean, the entire European Union pretty much has a vested interest in getting the old government back into power.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire pretty much continent of Africa is, in my opinion, best served by that not happening unless it leads to war, which is also a very real possibility. So I hesitate to make any assumptions as to where this could go, but it's not something that I would just ignore.
Yeah, this is probably going to be like, for now, I need to get caught up on it. I'm not doing really my due diligence on it. But it's probably going to be a situation where, like, before I left Ukraine, like, we're all consistently, keeping an eye on it, updating what's going on. Things like that, because things can get quite heated quick with this. And I know, does Russia themselves have any forces in Niger? Or is it just Wagner? Because I believe Wagner already has forces
as far as I'm aware,
in most of those
it's
countries.
Just the Wagner Group. Yeah. I don't think there's any actual, patch-wearing Russian soldiers out doing fuck shit in Africa, as far as I'm aware.
Okay. Yeah, because that has some great potential. I guess we'll keep you guys informed on that. Be sure to obviously inform yourselves and do your due diligence and reading. All right, for the next one, I gotta pull up an article real quick because I forgot to link one. The cop tasing the guy in the road and him getting run over. I really need a third monitor. So, here's the footage we got. If it'll play. There we go. Hold on, I'll share it in a second. Why is there a 30-second ad at the beginning of this video? That's ridiculous. Alright. Share screen. Screen 2. Yes. Share screen. Alright, y'all should be able to see it.
Start your day with Nature Made.
Yep.
The #1
I'm pretty sure
pharmacist
y'all.
recommended
I think
vitamin
we've already
supplement
all
brand.
watched this video. Not just
We
not
turn to the
together.
very difficult images tonight. The newly released body camera video showing a deputy tasing a driver who ran into traffic and was then struck and killed by an SUV.
There's no audio.
And I quote,
Yeah, I don't know why that's not working. Discord's supposed to be.
ABC's Mola Lengi
answering
in
it.
Colorado with the video, and we warn you tonight, it is disturbing.
Yeah, our audience has a video though, or the audio.
Police body camera video shows the moment a traffic stop turned deadly when a man, first tased by a sheriff's deputy, was then hit by an SUV. Authorities in Laramie County,
Oh,
Colorado
wait,
say
why?
around
I just
9
want the
p.m.
video.
on
I don't want all the
February 18th,
commentary.
Deputy had an appearing foot firing his by an oncoming SUV. He declared deputy, but
All right, this is a lame video. Hold on, we're gonna find a better one. Wait, what do you say, Blake?
They just cut out a lot of the actual video from that one.
Yeah, like I just want like the actual video. I really don't even want commentary on it. Fox News. Ugh. I mean, I guess ABC is no better. My guy, can we just get? Oh, this looks. Remember, kids, don't accept cookies when they try to offer them. Oh, well, I
Never
don't even
take
have
the
audio now.
cookies.
Yeah. Oh, wait, there we
Why
go.
don't you give me the right name?
It is the right name.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Brent, I know. So right now you're under arrest. Stop being your taste! Stop!
Oh, I cut it.
Oh.
This internet's worthless. All right. Well, needless to say, the dude gets absolutely smashed by that car.
That you can see coming as he tases dude. Oh, you're looking for another video?
Yeah, I just like I'm not gonna make everyone rewatch it. I just like as terrible as it sounds, I want to like put into perspective. The dude got like clubbed.
Yeah.
Like full on, just like. Does it actually show it this time? Oh my god! It cuts out again. The internet's worthless. All right. Well, yeah. There's that. So the dude gets hit by the car.
Took away our fucking live leak.
Yeah. I don't really know where else to find a video of this. I literally looked up cop tases suspect in road. So I guess we'll just go back to one of them and we'll screw those.
I saw it on
Mirror.co.uk.
Instagram.
I did too, but I don't necessarily want to dox all my Instagram followers.
Yeah.
So here at the beginning, the cops, I know the audience can hear it, but he's basically arguing with him. He's like, did you give me the right name? And the guy's like, yes, that's the right name. So I don't know necessarily the entire backstory situation. I don't even believe all of the information has been released yet. So we can, I guess, kind of take from that maybe the guy lied to him about his name, or the cops are just naive and don't understand his name. Don't know. Obviously some confusion there. I know the reason he was actually pulled over initially was for an expired registration. Like, that should actually, exist to begin with. Like, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to register my cars? I don't, that's a whole nother topic of, government surveillance with license plates and things like that.
Yeah,
so...
Jacob
Yeah.
Todd Jones.
Why don't you give me the right name?
It is the right name.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Brent, I know. So right now you're under arrest.
And he goes, right now you're under arrest, and the kid literally just turns and burns. Right behind that blue, almost looks like a Corolla or whatever. Runs across this, I guess it almost looks like it's an on-ramp or something. Or, oh no, this is a stop sign. I guess it's like a split-lane highway. Because originally the articles I read say that's an interstate. But I don't know of any, like, stop signs leading onto an interstate. So I'm gonna go with it some kind of, like, split-lane highway deal. And the cop tases him.
Yeah.
It goes to one of those things that's like, was it smart for the kid to run? Or maybe was it smart for the kid, like, I mean, we can play devil's advocate all day. Was it smart for him to drive with an expired registration? Was it smart for him to run? Was it smart for him to, potentially, I'll say that, lie about his name? Like, we could play that game all day. When it boils down to it, though, maybe it wasn't smart to do that, or this, or whatever. But it also wasn't smart? The cop tasing the dude in the middle of the road. And so we'll get to that. I would just like to say, if only that dude had a little bit higher dexterity and didn't fall over the guardrail. Like, that's 100% gonna be me one day. Like, I'm gonna need to actually do something important, and it's just gonna be like, oops, yeah, I just face planted and now I'm dead. So, right there, he tases him, the dude goes limp, or, well, I mean, stiff. Yeah, he is clearly not limp, because, like, his toes are, like, out. So, dude goes stiff. The taser's still going. Still going, still going, still going.
He holds it almost until the car hits him.
Yeah, it's consistent. Why do I have to... Yeah, literally, until the car hits him, the taser's going. Now, what I have heard... So, I was talking to... someone that reached out to me on Instagram. I made a comment, semi-publicly on my private Instagram, saying, hey, this is unacceptable behavior from a cop. And this should never have happened. And basically what was explained to me is, well, those tasers have, the specific taser he was using, I have very minimal knowledge on tasers. I've used a whole, 3 of them, maybe less in my life. And they have, a timer, essentially, when you pull the trigger and it makes contact, it goes off for 5 or 10 or 15 seconds. And he was saying, well, there's no real way to stop that.
It's 3 to 5, usually.
And so, I mean, okay, cool, so the cop wasn't, intentionally tasing him, when I first watched it, I thought the cop was, literally cooking him until the car hit him. I was like, dude, that's messed up. Like, the dude's about to die, and you won't even let him get up to release the taser to let him get up and move. Because you're too fat to want to run after him again for a second time. But it comes to, I suppose it turns out that that's not the case, and the cop wasn't intentionally cooking him. However, whether it's intentional or not, the dude died. Because of a lack of situational awareness, a lack of caring, a lack of, the dude clearly just didn't take in all the information of what's going on, or he just didn't care. That's kind of what it boils down to. Which, once again, we've talked about this, I know in episode 1, which the audience will somewhat see eventually. Negligence isn't a, cop-out. If someone, if 2 guys were fighting or, whatever on the side of the road, and one was the one and one guy pushed the dude into the road, and then the guy gets run over by a car. Even if the argument or the fight was completely in the guy that did not die's favor, he's still going to jail. Like, he's still getting charged with manslaughter. So what I don't understand is why we're not holding our cops to the same standard, I suppose. Like, I don't understand how
They
that's
have a
acceptable
badge
behavior.
and a costume.
I mean, yeah, a badge and a costume. Like, yeah, it's unacceptable. Like, let's say, I mean, obviously license plates are a thing. Registration is a thing. Unfortunately, I mean, that sucks, but it is. So, and let's just, whatever, the guy was expired. That's why he got pulled over to begin with. So, in theory, if registration was a thing, that should never happen to begin with. But the cop pulled him over. Maybe the guy lied about his name. Whatever. Does any of those justify a death? Like, realistically? Like, even if he did lie about his name, like, did they have reasonable suspicion that he was, like, a murderer? Or, whatever? Does having an expired registration, should that even require, to show ID or to validate name? I mean, obviously, I guess they want to make sure the car's not stolen. But to, like, what extent is acceptable? And what extent is acceptable? Like, under what extent is an acceptable arrest? And what extent is an acceptable death? And I don't see anything that, deserves death here. Like, the cops had his license plate. Obviously, they had his name, too. Because, or, well, let's just say hypothetically, he was actually lying about his name. The cops are sitting here going, that's not your name. Well, they clearly have his name. So, why endanger your life as, like, a cop to chase after him? And then why endanger, and in this case, kill the, like, suspect's life at the same time? Like, when you could literally, like, you already, at this point, have his license plate number, and I guess at this point, if the guy really was lying about his name, they have his real name. Why not just show up or, whatever? Like, just let him go. There's no point in endangering
Go pick him up
people.
at his house later like you do everybody else.
Yeah, like, I mean, this could have been worse. I mean, that could have been a busier interstate, or that car slammed on brakes, swerve, now, hits another car and hits the cop, and now you have a cop, a suspect, and potentially more people dead. Like, it could have been so much worse because of your negligence to even just chase him to begin with. You already had his name and everything, so, yeah. Sorry, I just rambled there for a whole 5 minutes. This whole thing really frustrated me when I saw it come out. Also, I guess my webcam died. Not sure what happened. Oh, no, it's there. Interesting. Oh, Elon left. Alright, next topic. I actually need to find this topic because I never even pulled up an article from it. So, NSA spying on NSA spying on civilians is necessary to national security. So, I'll give you the brief rundown, on the, well, did either of y'all see anything on this? While I pull up an article? Okay, so, NSA buying civilian data. I guess citizens would.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
Is that why all my access news got leaked on OnlyFans? Darn that today.
You sound like a robot again.
Dang Chicago. I'm trying to find an article here.
All the darn shots, right? I keep shooting up the cell phone towers.
What? A month ago. Alright, well, I can't find an article on it. So this came from Linus Tech Tips over at, well, I mean, the LTT channels. This was from one of their TechLink news channels from TechLink news videos from last week. I never actually kind of found an article for it. So I found this Vox article from a month ago. Share your screen 2. Drag this over. and OBS. All right. So the U.S. government is buying your data to spy on you. Data, whatever. So essentially, how this works is when you go on the internet, whether it's through your phone, your computer, whatever, your internet service provider, whether it's Verizon or AT&T, whatever, is tracking what you're doing. Every time you join a website, not only do they know, but also the website you're joining clicks what's called cookies. And those do everything from help you, quote unquote, help you with personalized ads for advertisement purposes, to get your location, your IP location, to storing your passwords, and you name it. Like, cookies are a valid, or not a valid, very integral part of how the internet works. Depending on the cookies, for example, like personal ad data, that essentially a lot of times gets sold, whether it's from the ISP or the website itself. Well, it turns out it's not necessarily new news, but the NSA is buying that data, and holds a pretty vast database on its civilians as far as their data, and that's kind of what came out this week. I'm trying to... Yeah, I'm trying to find the exact article. I found it. It's a Wired article. I found it! Thanks, Wired. So, sorry, Vox, but you've been, outdone here. U.S. spies are lobbying Congress to save a phone surveillance loophole. So I guess this is specifically targeting phones. The National Security Agency has urged top lawmakers to resist demands that it obtain warrants for sensitive data sold by data brokers. U.S. lawmakers, an effort by United States lawmakers to prevent government agencies from domestically tracking citizens without a search warrant is facing opposition internally from one of its largest intelligence services. Republican Democrat aides familiar with ongoing defense spending negotiations in Congress say officials at the NSA have approached lawmakers charged with its oversight about opposing an amendment that would prevent it from paying companies for location data instead of obtaining a warrant in court. So yeah, the NSA is buying your location without a warrant and other sensitive information. It goes on to say, yeah, with your money, I might add. And get this. A government report declassified by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, that's a mouthful, last month revealed that U.S. intelligence agencies were avoiding judicial review by purchasing a large amount of sensitive and intimate information about Americans, including data that can be used to trace people's whereabouts over extended periods of time. The sensitivity of the data is such that in the wrong hands, the report says it could be used to, quote, facilitate blackmail, among other undesirable incomes. So yeah, that's it, kids. The U.S. government wants to spend your money to blackmail you. There you go.
So don't get out of line.
Yeah, so don't get out of line.
So
they're using your... Sorry, go ahead.
If we become too influential, I can take it for a little. Some of us get a little too influential. They'll come up to us at the Starbucks and tell us about all our P-Hub activities.
What? Chicago strikes again with the internet.
All I got was Robot Voice, dude.
Let's try this one more time. Hold up, I
was about to say, that time we didn't get anything.
I'm communing with the stars right now. I got my crystals out. I was hanging out with this gypsy chick. She taught me about it. I'm saying. So what you're saying is the NSA is going to blackmail some of us to with our P-Hub scrolling. Because I don't know about y'all, but I can't sleep at midnight. I just be scrolling and scrolling, and don't want that one to come out, but I'm gonna watch it.
The feds now are gonna blackmail you with big titty goth girls.
Oh no, there's much worse things when you make it past page 132.
Traven, you're down bad, buddy. You're down bad.
What is this? 3 pigs, 1 stall?
Yo, what?
What you think? I didn't know she could have a pig snout. Rolling around in chocolate syrup.
Oh my goodness. All right, buddy.
Can we go back to the robot voice?
Yeah, give the girl her crystals back. We want robot voice. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to say this. I mean, not in this podcast, but we've harped on it before. Your data, like, it's supposed to be private. Like, that's the whole point of having your private information. And when companies sell your information, it's already bad enough. But then when they sell your information to the feds, and it's paid for with your tax dollars, it's like icing on the cake. Like, it just keeps getting worse and worse. The fact that it's sensitive info. Oh yeah. And the fact that some of it, and see, here's an issue in and of itself. Some of this data is actually, I mean, it's implied that obtaining that data would require a warrant. So, it's like, how is, and why is it, whatever, legal for companies to obtain your data that would require a warrant without necessarily your consent? Because, I mean...
Because you signed the terms of service, man.
And that's fair, but, I mean... And yeah, I mean, if you sign it, that's illegal, but should it be? Question A. And B, well, like, would that be considered predatory gain? Or what is that called? Predatory marketing or whatever.
Yeah, it might be legal, but is it right?
Oh, absolutely not right.
I don't think so.
But if it's over information that would require a warrant, and that's not like explicitly said, at the top of the page, and they bury it under 17 pages in the terms of service just so you can download the latest, game on the App Store, like, should that be legal?
Well, here's the thing, John.
That's just a thought.
A lot of these companies, I'm going to say companies and refer to them as entities from this point on, because essentially that's what a lot of these are. None of these entities are a sole proprietorship. They're pretty much LLC'd and they become their own being. So now you're conflicting morality from someone like an individual like us would have over the power of the dollar, which is something those entities would rather much have than over the morality.
That's fair. So is it a people problem, a corporation problem, or a governmental issue? Because on one hand, yes, we also have, like, the study was more recently done. I forget who actually did it, or what company it was like, hey, we're going to announce this, you get a free 50-inch TV or whatever, but it gets to play ads, it gets to have it, like, there's a camera to make sure you're watching the ads. Like, the TV's not, like, turned around. There's, like, a side-scrolling, like, bar underneath that'll, like, consistently show you ads. Things like that. And from my understanding from, like, the research report or whatever they did on it, like, people were going to get it. Or they'd already had pre-orders or something. I don't remember. This is in the article for this week. So, people are clearly willing to have something like that. And if people are willing to give that information to a corporation, do they, at that point, like, is the government even necessarily wrong, I'm using that term kind of loosely, for purchasing it? I mean, if people are just so willy-nilly, like, hey, here, take my personal private information.
No, it's way cheaper than if they tried to gather it by actual investigation.
Yeah, like, it's cheaper for them to do that and buy it on millions of people at a time. Because, like, I mean, when people, I assume it's like a bidding thing. I really don't necessarily understand, or I really don't understand it at all. When a corporation sells your information, I would imagine something like, hey, we have, 1 million people's from this demographic in this area. You know, it might even be specifically for, you know, Charleston or, you know, Hawaii, whatever. A specific demographic. Who's interested in buying it? And the NSA is like, oh, I'll buy it for 50 grand. Or, you know, 100 grand, whatever that price tag might look like. Meanwhile, they would spend, you know, thousands just to obtain a warrant and do a stakeout or, you know, wiretaps, whatever they want to do to obtain it through a warrant legal channel. So it's like, who's really at fault here for this?
That's a tough one.
Like, corporations have predatory terms of service, TSAs, terms of service agreement. Yeah, TSAs. We have a predatory government, and then people just seem to just don't care. Like, I mean, it kind of goes back to, like, how much is your data worth? So if you look at this is, to my knowledge, the first time we've ever had, like, a metric to measure it by. But the Quest VR 2 from Facebook, I know a lot of people have it. So they released a Quest Pro, or Quest 2 Pro, or Quest, I think it was just called the Quest Pro, which was specifically targeted towards enterprise situations, where it had no Facebook, like, advertising. Like, it was completely just, you receive it, and there's no information tracking, there's no no ad tracking, nothing like that. In fact, you didn't even have to have an account connected to it. And it was the same exact device minus those features where you needed an account. And it was, I believe, $500 or $600 more. That's how much your data's worth. Like, that's one device. I don't know what metrics you're technically signing over when you say, hey, I'm logging into my Facebook account on my VR. Like, do they get to track, like, your motion? Do the cameras get to look around? You know, is it just literally tracking what you buy and are paying for in their marketplace? I don't know. But, like, that's how much your data's worth. And so when you have predatory companies, predatory governments, and people are willing to save, you know, or get a free TV or save $600 so they can, you know, save that money and instead give their information to Facebook, or, you know, when you buy when you get the free app in the App Store, you know, that's just collecting your data. And I think in a lot of ways, people are willing to do that to save 99 cents to pay for the app, or $600 for the TV, or to offer your Quest. So I don't really know what necessarily the problem is, or where it stems from. Like, here, I'll just cue up like a mic drop. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of poopy.
Yep. I mean, I guess the moral is, don't let the government collect your data.
I mean, I feel like if the companies and the corporations would set up privacy, like, would actually defend your data, then you would be good. But it's because everyone doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
They're greedy. The NSA is lazy. So they don't want to do their job. So they just buy it, and the corporations obviously want more money, so they're obviously going to be willing to sell it. So
yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, and even look at, like, when it boils down to it, they don't care. Like, to them, you're another number that they're collecting your information on and selling it to whatever the highest, I assume, bidder. I assume that's how that works. I mean, and even if they're not selling it, like, look at the all Eufy scandal. So Eufy is like a doorbell camera company. They're owned by Anker, popular power bank brand. This was about 2 months ago now. So Eufy, I forget the exact thing, but basically when your motion's detected on your camera, the video gets uploaded to the servers. And it was completely unencrypted. And anyone could just go on with knowing the right IP address. I believe it was through, like, I don't remember if it's through a web browser. Basically, you could use it, if I remember correctly, as like an IP camera or whatever. And if you knew how to, like, kind of manipulate the system, you could literally watch the streams, like, completely, well, not the streams, but the uploads unencrypted. And it's ridiculous. Like, they didn't, I don't know if it was a thing of, like, I don't think they were just being malicious with it, but it's like, how did that not get like, you know, whatever. Like, and what was worse is, if I remember correctly,
Yeah, you didn't find out about that in development.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, what made it worse is they were like, none of your information is stored on our servers.
Oh, so they lied about it too.
Excuse me? Oh yeah, yeah. After they got caught, the lying like intensified. Like they were like, oh well, no, that's not true. That's not how it works. And then yeah, it was like a whole
Deny everything. Admit nothing. Make counter accusations.
Yep. And it's like they can't even sell that data, but they're still, I mean, can't sell that data. Like, but it's like, from that point of view, like, what did they have to gain other than just not caring and then doubling down and lying about it and saying that's not, you know, I don't know. It's just, it's a continual issue of them not being careful with your data and selling it, and then cases like the government, or I mean, well, hypothetically, like, I mean, I hate the U.S. government. I mean, just want to talk about toxic relationships. Look at the relationship between the U.S. government and its citizens. But then, would it actually be worse if, like, say hypothetically, like, the Chinese were buying our data on bulk? Like, I mean,
the Chinese are not from half the products they send over here.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
exactly. That's
I mean,
not
yeah,
like
like
a crazy
Tencent
thing
and, you know,
to
TikTok.
think.
But it's like, you know, I mean, at what point is having, like, giving or allowing too much of our data to even get released or get collected would be the best way to say it. Like, at what point should it even be okay or legal or whatever? I don't know. So.
Unsure, but I'm pretty sure in development they probably did know of that simple fact that your data was pretty much out there. I'm pretty sure at some point some risk analysis sat down and said, well, what's the possibility of this getting exploited and we're going to have to end up paying out for it? And they deemed it was cheaper just to go ahead, ship it as is, and send it that way then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it might literally be like cost of doing business to them. Like, is a payout or a fine worth it, or like, you know, is it going to cost more to fix it, or, you know, actually admit it, you know, kind of thing. And that goes back to, so just also recently, Microsoft Azure, Azure, whatever, Azure,
yeah.
I've used them. I've hosted sites and servers with them before. I mean, it's AWS and Azure go hand in hand, like, as far as the two most powerful kind of hosting companies in the world, whether it's for a website or an AI model. Like, that's just kind of what it boils down to at this point. A lot of US government organizations have their stuff hosted on Azure. They just had their massive data breach, and it turns out that it was reported to them 2 months ago. 2 months ago about the issue. And oh, hi Onyx. It was reported to them 2 months ago, and I didn't read too much into the how the exploit worked, but they patched for new accounts, so it was no longer able to do it on new accounts that were made. However, they did not have plans to update it on the, what I presume to be tens of millions, hundreds of millions accounts that were already made until, I think the date they put out was like September 29th.
Jesus.
Like, let me wait 4 months to patch this exploit out. Like, why? It was patched, and for the record, it was patched out within a day. A day of everything happening the past 2 weeks as far as their data breach.
Hey,
like,
man, it'd be like that in these big corporations.
But it's like,
at
that point, but like, why? I mean, that's...
Well,
I mean,
speaking as somebody who, without going into too much detail, is part of a very large corporation in a similar role, a lot of times it's not the people that actually are fixing the stuff that get to decide when things get fixed. So...
Oh, yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, I feel like that's a thing, whether it's the video game world.
I'd be
industry.
willing to bet money that it was a bureaucratic problem, not a technical problem.
Yeah. But it's just like, you know, at that point, like, a company the size of Microsoft and a project or department sub-company, I don't know necessarily how Azure falls as far as like the hierarchy of Microsoft. But like, I mean, that's US government stuff, like, you know, who they've been sucking each other's dick for years. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll fix it eventually, you know. And if I remember correctly, Azure also hosts like government sites from around the world. So it's like like I don't even know.
The only provider that hosts more classified and ITAR restricted data in the world is Amazon Web Services.
AWS. Oh, I just thought of one that outdoes AWS.
What, Akamai?
The War Thunder forums. Those guys be stacked. Fun fact, it's
like
probably hosted on AWS or Azure.
Yeah, for sure. It's one or the other.
I will say though, I was actually curious. This is going on a tangent on the.
This whole night's been tangents.
But lately, I've noticed in social media there's been an uptick on war driving. There's like a lot of guys glorifying that type of thing going on.
As far as
war
itself,
I love old school hacker shit.
Oh, war. Oh, yeah, no, that, yeah. Yep, my bad. That just
taking it back to the '90s with that shit.
Shit, well, they're doing it in the fucking 23s, and it's working, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, but they're doing it against phones now.
Yes.
Yep. They done got that Flipper Zero and went crazy with it. That Alpha Patch 2.0 is slapping.
That's my next project is getting a Flipper Zero to do the traffic light hack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's already done. I think it's on what the
Oh,
fuck
I
is
know.
that?
I'm just saying I need to get one and put it in my truck for that reason.
Yeah, the Flipper Zero is cool because while things like that have been able to be built for, I mean, we're going back years. I mean, decades. Like realistically, whether it was like an old taken apart BlackBerry or like, I mean, we're talking even like pre-Raspberry Pi days. I mean, guys have been doing that stuff for decades now. But this is the first time that everything's been in one package commercially.
Right.
Like, I mean,
and in such a user-friendly device.
Yeah, I have friends, some buddies that, you know, like, you go over and they open up, like, their pen testing, like, briefcase. They're like, oh, yes, I have my Raspberry Pi for this. Here's this Raspberry Pi. Here's this Pi. Here's my, you know, Hackintosh for this. And, you know, just a slew of stuff. And, I mean, half of that stuff now can be eliminated with just Flipper Zero.
With one device. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the crazy thing about this is the craziest thing to me about the Flipper Zero. It's a lot of those programs aren't revolutionary. They're actually extremely dated. And the fact that these
so simple
calls are still fucking working today. There's shit on there that's been fucking that's been conceived and used since 2002 up to 2006. Like in that span. It's like, holy shit. How the fuck is this working?
Well, it's like the supply and demand of pen testing. Like, for real. Like, it kind of goes, it's like, well, you know, this isn't happening much right now, so things get put on the back burner, or, I mean, it almost goes back to, like, that cost of doing business thing again. Like, if something's not an issue right now, it's literally costing them less money to let it be an issue than it is to fix it.
Exactly.
Like, that dates back all the way to, like, 90s viruses, like worm viruses or whatever. And, you know, back in that day, you could also make the argument that they didn't know about it. Like, things weren't nearly as, I guess you could say open source then in the sense of, like, or a community open source, where it's like, oh yeah, let me have my pen testing team, or, you know, let me send it to this company to do, like, a full evaluation, or, you know, whatever of the security of it. Things like that weren't as much of a thing as they are today. Today, there's literally no excuse for it. It's just, like, I mean, with the exception of 0 days, which, I mean, realistically, I would like to say are few and far between. but aren't. But they're usually very niche, and you have to be quite gifted to, or even find, much less use a zero-day attack. But like once again, say again.
Point there. That's a quick tangent on that point there. Shout out to the development team of BattleBit for getting the shit right on the first day and continuing to get it right. We love you. Keep out there doing the hard work. Bought the supporter package. I'm going to continue investing. Going to continue spending my money with you guys, dude.
That's not what 0 day means, but that's fair.
0 day gameplay, no bugs. It's up, baby. And one more thing. School looking to go to college. This should tell you something. If you're gonna go get a degree, side popping, just go do it. Don't go for water basket weaving and gender studies. Side sex is I
didn't even get the first half of that conversation.
God bless him. He's trying.
God damn it! Sapphire, combine. I need you. Is my stones working?
Oh, we need the decryption key again. All right, but no. All right. Anyway,
I think we're at what, close to 2 hours now.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up real quick. But for the record, for the audience, if y'all didn't know, a 0 day refers to like a 0 day attack, which is essentially a fresh new exploit that they were unaware of. It went unnoticed, untouched, and was exploited before they even had a chance to. Like, and they're usually, whether they're sold or used, it's usually for like massive things. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, I hacked my neighbor's mom, with a 0 day. Like, no, it's usually like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna use a 0 day attack to steal billions of dollars or, something astronomical. Yeah, not BattleBit getting it right on day 0. I mean, but BattleBit did get it right on day 0. That's fine. All right, yeah, let's wrap things up. What else do we have? Current events, that's it. Anyone have any specific memes? Honestly, this kind of last 5 minutes has just been a meme, so let's see. Closing remarks. Who has closing remarks?
Is my crystals working?
Yeah, they're working right this second.
Cool. I had to rub the sapphire and the ruby and the Lupus Lazarus together. I was doing the diamond and the I don't know what this is.
All right. Before your crystals stop working.
All right. Children, hear me. Hear me why this works.
Oh no.
From middle school to high school, looking to go to college. If this last bit has told you anything, if you're going to get a degree in computer science, cybersec is where it's at.
I would just say get a STEM degree. If you're actually going to get a degree, get a STEM degree.
Unless it's water basket weaving, it's paying a lot nowadays.
Is it?
Hey, look.
Realistically, if you're into IT shit, and that's where you want to go, like, industry certifications are better for you than any degree.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I will speak for all of us. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, literally none of us actually have a degree in the trade that we're in.
I do, but I didn't need to get it.
3 out of the 4 of us don't have degrees in the trade we're working on.
Top 3 still CompT, C+, and what else? What is it?
CompTIA is not a coding. That's a organization that you can get certificates and stuff through.
Yeah.
Which is a great organ. Like, definitely go get some of those certs. Like, Cisco certs, CompTIA. Who does the SSCP certs? Who is that one? I don't
Cisco.
remember. Yeah. Wait, is that a Cisco SSCP? That's a Security Plus is a Cisco
no.
cert.
That's a Microsoft thing.
No! Hold on.
Well, children, while the nerds are talking, if you don't want to do none of that, you can always come be like me and be a truck driver. You only need an IQ.
For now.
You need an IQ
Elon's
of 10.
trying to make you guys obsolete.
he can keep trying. He's got about another 20 years.
Well, that means you have another 20 years.
Retiring before then, baby.
Okay. Yeah, okay. SSCP is an ISC squared. Or ISC squared. That's one of the certs I have. It's a great cert. Very versatile and better than Security Plus. So yeah, that's your tech takeaway is or for your kid takeaway is get a STEM degree. Your tech takeaway is get certs. And if you're gonna get Security Plus, don't, and just get an SSCP cert. And
you're allowed to do that while you're still in school. Also.
Oh yeah, dude. I think what's the age limit? It was like 16. Like I think you can literally take some of those at 16 and get certified.
I don't know if there is one for some of them, to be honest with you. If you can pass the test, I mean, if you have a valid ID, so it's realistically 16. But
yeah,
if you have a valid ID and you can pass the test, then you can be certified.
Yeah, I think my SSCP was like $300. I studied a whole like 37 minutes for it, and I mean, I'm not saying to do that. Like, actually read some material and make sure you know what you're... make sure you don't waste your $300. But I showed up to the testing facility and passed. So, like, yeah, that, like, certs alone open up great job opportunities. Whether it's IT or, you know, working on cars or even something as simple as, you know, weapons instructing, things like that. So yeah, that's our takeaway, I think, for the week. Next week, we're going to be talking about Ukraine again. We might take a break after that and just have another topic, just kind of split it up a little bit. We'll be talking about
maybe we'll have some more Africa stuff to talk about by then.
Oh yeah, maybe the whole thing will be how Africa's now imploded on the uranium. Honestly, I things won't even surprise me at this point. Yeah, so
just France is completely fucked if they don't get uranium from them anymore. That makes up half of France's nuclear fuel.
Well, true. France, they do have a massive nuclear industry, and France, if I remember correctly, also has
like
the
Niger
third largest nuclear arsenal in the world. I believe it's the USSR, Russia. Oops. The US, the Russians. What is Grandmaster Putin, and I think third is France, and then I think fourth is UK. So, yeah, France has a large nuclear arsenal as well as a large nuclear infrastructure for power. So, yeah, they need their uranium. That could get heated. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that next week. I think, and if anything big happens, right now we'll be tracking on basically our second and third, first few weeks of us with our new team in Ukraine. That'll consist of us starting to train the Ukrainian soldiers. Some hilarious stories about that. Older volunteers are thinking that the AK platform was bolt action or single action. Some head popping, some like Tarkov leans, you name it. So we got some good stories with that. And yeah, that's all for me.
Dude thinks he's the Strelok.
Dude, yeah, seriously. Like, they'd be like, why not do this? You're like, no, just push through the corner.
If someone like me is waiting for you, you will be shot in the face.
Yep. Don't hold the same angle. Leave the angle and then repop it. Don't do it. It's bad. Just push through the angle. Well, if it's a room. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Come back next week. We might have another guest speaker. I'll try and secure us one. And y'all have a great week. Have fun, guys.